Welcome back to our channel. Friends, the movie we are going to break down today is truly based on extreme survival, with every scene filled with suspense and thrill. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the movie's story. Quick Flicks presents The Grey. At the beginning of this story, John Ottway is shown as a deeply troubled man. John misses his wife a lot and writes a letter to her. In that letter, he writes, "You have left my life forever, and I know you will never come back. And for all of this, I hold myself responsible. Maybe today I will end my life." In reality, he pours his sorrow into the letter, and later that night, he tries to shoot himself with his gun, but he doesn't go through with it. John works for an oil company in Alaska, and his job is to kill any wolves that attack the workers, as the area is full of them. And that's exactly what happens. Some workers are busy with their tasks when suddenly a wolf starts approaching to attack them. John takes aim from a distance and shoots the wolf. When he gets closer, the wolf is taking its final breaths. John places his hand on the wolf's heart and whispers, "The last time." Actually, this is John's last day at the company. The next day, he will leave Alaska and quit this job forever. The following day, John and some of his co-workers board a plane to leave. But when the plane is flying over Alaska's remote wilderness, it crashes. Now they are stranded in the freezing wilderness of Alaska, surrounded by snow, mountains, and deadly cold. The temperatures are so extreme that they might freeze to death. One of their companions dies right in front of them. John tells everyone, "We need to light a fire. We will spend the night here, and in the morning, we will move forward. No one is coming to rescue us, and even if they try, they won't find us here." That night, as they gather wood to start a fire, a wolf suddenly attacks John, biting his leg. John now realizes that they are in wolf territory. They might survive the cold, but these savage wolves won't let them escape alive. John warns the remaining survivors, "We need to remove all the dead bodies from here. The wolves can smell blood in the air, and they know we are wounded." The group starts clearing away the bodies. Later that night, while they are sitting around the fire, John senses something nearby. He picks up a wooden torch and walks into the darkness. But there isn't just one wolf. There are many. John turns to his companions and says, "Nobody moves. If we start running, the wolves will attack us." Everyone stands still, and after a few moments, the wolves disappear into the darkness. John says that everyone must take turns standing guard for 2 hours each, so that the others can sleep peacefully. John takes the first watch, but when the next man comes to take his turn at night, wolves attack him. They kill him. No one hears his cries, and when everyone wakes up in the morning, they find his dead body lying there. John says that the wolves didn't eat him, they only killed him. The others ask why they did that. John explains, "Because we are not from here. We are a threat to them, and now that they have tasted human blood, they will attack again." John sees trees far in the distance and tells everyone that they need to reach there as quickly as possible, because if they stay here, the wolves will not leave them alone. The trees are very far away, and at the same time, a snowstorm is raging. John and his 5 remaining companions collect the wallets of all the people who have died so far so that they can return them to their families. Then they start moving toward the trees. John knows that if the wolves spot them first, they will kill them all. Meanwhile, the wind is so strong and the snow is so deep that even taking a single step forward is difficult. One of the 6 men falls behind. He trips and falls, and immediately wolves attack him from all sides. He calls out to his companions, but by the time John and the remaining 4 men reach him, the wolves have already killed him. Now only 5 of them are left, and the wolves could attack at any moment because they do not tolerate intruders in their territory. Everyone tells John, "We should have stayed near the plane. We were safe there, and we don't even know how far the trees are from here." But they have no choice now. They keep moving forward. As the evening sets in, they suddenly see wolves charging toward them. They all start running downhill, stumbling and falling, but they finally reach the trees. Quickly, they light fires around themselves to keep the wolves from attacking. John prepares a stick for everyone, attaching a bullet at the tip, and says, "When the wolves get too close, strike them with this. They will back off. This will definitely work." With them is a man named Diaz, and he does not believe in what John says. In fact, he does not trust anything John says, and he has been criticizing John from the start. He says, "Because of you, one of our companions is dead. We should have stayed up there." He starts insulting John. An argument begins between the two. Diaz pulls out his knife, wanting to attack John, but John knocks him to the ground and takes full control of the situation. Just then, they notice a wolf standing in front of them. They all stand together, and the wolf is only staring at them. After staring for quite some time, the wolf quietly walks away. John explains that their companions sent the wolf here. In fact, wolves always hunt in packs, and their minds are very sharp. After this, they all sit around the fire. Suddenly, a wolf attacks Diaz, but they all fight back and manage to kill the wolf. Now they have food. While they are cooking the wolf, they start hearing wolf howls from all directions because they have killed one of their pack members. John realizes that the wolves won't leave them alone now. He says, "We have to leave right now." The 5 of them begin to move forward, each carrying a torch. Although it's dark, they have no other choice. But they don't get far, as one of them, named Jackson Brook, begins to feel unwell and they have to stop. However, this time, where they stop, the wolves can only attack them from the front, unlike before when they were in an open area. They light a fire here, knowing that any one of them could pass away at any moment. They all remember their families. Then the sky begins to thunder. John says, "Looks like a snowstorm is coming, and if the storm hits, the fire will go out. And even if the wolves don't attack, they may die from the cold." After a while, the storm begins. The fire goes out. When John wakes up in the morning, he finds that Jackson, who was unwell, has completely stiffened. He tries to lift him, but Jackson has already passed away. He is dead. The others are all lying around exhausted and helpless. John starts a fire there, and after a while, when the storm completely calms down, they all get ready to move forward. Just then, John notices a chopped tree with a mark on it. John says, "I recognize this mark. All the trees here are registered, meaning the government keeps a record of them." Then they hear the sound of water. As they move toward the sound, they see a deep ravine between them and the path ahead. This means they can no longer move forward. The ravine is so deep that they cannot cross it, and there is no way for them to go back either. John tells his 3 companions, "Look, there are many trees in front of us. We need a long rope, and one of us will have to jump from here to the trees so that the rope can be tied there, and the 3 of us can reach there." They all agree, as there is no other option. However, they have a rope, but it is not long enough, so they have to tie clothes with the rope. One of them grabs the end of the clothes and jumps from the rock to the trees. As soon as he jumps, the point where they tied the rope and clothes becomes loose. Now, the clothes point is about to fall into the ravine, but one of them grabs it. By doing this, his life is saved just in time. The one who jumped to the trees is also safe. After this, they reach the trees one by one. However, the last one, named Tailgut, gets his foot caught in a hook. When he tries to free his foot, the rope breaks and he falls from the height, from the trees to the ground below. He's badly injured, and now he starts hallucinating. He sees his little daughter, whom he loves very much. His daughter says to him, "Daddy, I love you." At this point, many wolves arrive. However, John and his 2 companions quickly try to descend the trees to save their friend Tailgut, but by the time they reach the ground, the wolves have already pulled him away and taken him with them. Now only the 3 of them remain. They can still hear the wolves howling from all directions. Actually, they are chasing them. They want to kill them at any cost. All 3 of them move forward and reach the river. However, Diaz, who is with them, has a sprained foot and he cannot walk much. He tells John and Hendrik, "I won't be able to go any further with you." John and Hendrik try to convince him, but Diaz says, "I've lost. I can't go any further because his foot hurts a lot." Diaz tells both of them, "Anyway, what will I do if I go back? No one is waiting for me there. I'll just lie around in a bar all day and drink all night. This is the best place I could find." In reality, Diaz has accepted his death. That's why he wants to take his last breaths in these beautiful valleys. John and Hendrik leave him to his fate and continue on their way. John and Hendrik are moving along the riverbank, and then they see wolves running toward them. They both start running away from there. Just then, Hendrik falls into the river. The current of the river is very strong, and Hendrik gets carried away by it. John jumps into the river to save him. Hendrik hits a fallen tree in the river, and his foot gets stuck underneath it. He is underwater. John reaches him and breathes into his mouth. He says, "Don't lose hope. I'll get you out of here." John tries very hard to pull him out, but he can't get Hendrik out, and Hendrik dies. Now John is left alone. He's completely dejected because he's also very tired. He looks up at the sky, addressing God, and says, "I'm helpless, powerless, I'm weak. Why don't you help me? Make me feel your presence." But he feels nothing. John says, "I will have to help myself." And now, alone, he continues his journey ahead. But he can't go very far because he succumbs to hypothermia. He sits down at a spot. He takes out all the wallets he has. These are the wallets of the people who have died. He opens each wallet and looks through them. They have photos of their families. And just then, he looks around and sees that the wolves have arrived. They want to kill him, and then he takes out his wallet. Inside the wallet is a photo of his wife, and he sees his wife appear before him. She says to him, "Never lose hope." In fact, his wife was ill, which is why she passed away. And that's why at the beginning of the story, he tries to end his life because he loved his wife very much. Now John ties a knife in one hand, and in the other hand he grabs many bottles. He breaks those small bottles so that they can be used as a weapon. Before him stands the fierce wolf, and John remembers his childhood, where his father used to repeat a line to him over and over again. In fact, this is a quote that says, "I have to fight my last battle one more time. I remember everything clearly. Either today I will survive, or I will leave this world forever." And after that, the wolf and John attack each other. The wolf tries to bite John with its teeth. John also attacks it with the knife. In the end, it is shown that the wolf lies badly injured on the ground, but it is still breathing, and John is lying on top of it. However, we don't know if John is still alive or not, and with this ending, the story concludes. In fact, the author of this story has left it to you to think about what happens next. Did John win? Did he manage to kill the wolf? Or did the wolf kill him? In this battle, whether one wins or loses, the greatest victory or defeat is the victory and defeat of the mind. The person who loses to their own mind can never win in life, and John won in his mind, which is why he fought the wolf, fought with it. And with this message, the story ends here.